Hello, it's Trevor Russell here. So, as my video talks about down here in the subject line, which is my complete recovery from TMS part 3 story, I've got some videos down below. That's me, Trevor. Hi. Just here in this park on this beautiful day, feeling like a superhero. So I thought I'd put the superhero top on for me and all of you who I know go through what TMS can do, which I tell you what, from my experience, we almost have to be a superhero to be able to cope and deal with what this terrible affliction can do to us, because it is painful, and anyone that has experienced tension myositis syndrome or gotten through it, it truly is the journey of a superhero. So what I wanted to do very quickly was to tell you about my full recovery story, because I have put a video down below where I was at part 2, just coming out of a very, very challenging TMS time. So I wanted to just recap on some things that I did. Why? Because I feel completely better, and I know a lot of you out there, from the comments that I've gotten and the people that I've chatted to, that this is a real affliction that affects many, many, many people throughout the world. And I think that pain is one of the most debilitating things to have to live and deal with, and be able to live a happy, functional life and have a good career and a good disposition and a good outlook on life. So to be able to live pain-free is very, very important. And I do a lot of work as a consultant and as a business development trainer and coach and salesperson and marketer. So I need full functionality of my body. So coming back to my story of complete recovery, what I've done so you can take this information and, most importantly, live a happier, better life. Okay, so you are with feelings of pain in your neck and back and arm or groin or shoulder. Yes, I even had the pain move down to my groin. I did this to get better. Firstly, in the words of John Sarno, which was to accept that this is mental and not physical. This is a mental condition, and this is something that our brain does to us to try and help us, I don't know, protect us and help us cope with the challenges that we all face in this crazy world. And if you're a high achiever like me, which is apparently a lot of people that suffer with TMS, A-type personalities, perfectionists, can be affected by opinions of others, possibly childhood trauma, and really put a lot of pressure on themselves, can push themselves to the limit, and they contract these emotions. So from that, it is, firstly, in the words of John Sarno, is to accept that this is mental and not physical. And this is a very, very challenging thing to do, because when you invariably, as I have, shared that I'm in pain and can't do certain things, and people say, oh, what's wrong? And you say, oh, well, it's my neck's locked up and my arm is twitching and I've got all these symptoms, and what will the good opinion of others say and do, which will be, oh, go to the chiro, go to the physio, go get a CAT scan. And to tell you, I did all that. This last round, it was so bad. I went to a physio and I went to the doctors and I got painkillers and did all those things, but it just didn't really do much at all. The cure for me was accepting it was mental, not physical. So number one, mental, not physical. The next thing was to speak to someone who I could talk through what I was dealing with and what I was suffering with. And I found a lady who works for a TMS clinic in the US online, and there's a lot of great TMS practitioners out there. And I would say, from my experience and so far opinion, is they don't even need to be perfect, but to have someone to share that you're in grief and pain and suffering, to let that out and have that conversation with someone else is very, very, very helpful, especially when you are in deep, deep pain, where I was, where I literally could not feel my fingers, my arm was locked up, my neck was locked up, constant, terrible, terrible pain. To be able to speak and talk to someone, even have a cry, get it out, was very, very helpful. So first one, mental, not physical, have a talk to someone. The next one for me is to be really kind to yourself, to be really patient with yourself, and to talk to your body. For me, I do a lot of talking now to my brain, my body, more so my brain than anything. And I know it sounds really wacky, but any of you who do this would get it, that to say, hey brain, you know what, we're okay, we can cope with this, whatever life throws at us, we can deal with this. And that for me, you know, helps. I'll tell you, I was even in Melbourne last week and I started getting a feeling in my groin. I knew and know it was TMS, and had a chat to my brain, said we're okay. And funnily enough, I had this groin pain when I was about 10 years old, locked up to the point where I literally couldn't walk, and my parents were going through some challenging times then, and I'm sure I was getting a TMS experience as a 10-year-old or as a young boy. So and a few hours later, got on with business, got on with the day, gone, right? Funnily enough. So again, actually, I want to say not again, but I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, I'm just giving you my experience, my opinion. Always get things checked out. But for me, I'm pretty confident with my own body these days that I know what is actually mental and what is actually physical. And so far, it's all been physical, because let me tell you, I had the most chronic pain in my neck where it actually felt like something was pinching and grabbing and pulsing down my arm and fingers, which would be classic signs of repetitive stress disorder. Now, nothing. Gone, completely gone. I would say it's been 16 weeks maybe from start to finish, when it really started to finish. But anyway, back to the story, back to the cure. Mental, not physical. Speak to someone, talk to your brain, talk to yourself. The next thing is be kind to yourself, or in there, as I might have said, be kind to yourself. Because even going through it, the lady that I was getting coaching with and counseling with, she said at times, push through and just say, you know what, brain, bring it on. Give it to me. Give us all you got. And let me tell you, I did that. And some days I would sit at my desk, because that was the hardest thing for me, to sit up and type on my desk. My neck would burn, but I would push through as long as I could and say, bring it on. And sometimes it would pass, sometimes it didn't, but I would eventually go sit down somewhere else where I could actually type and work, and it was more comfortable. But I kept pushing. Some days were kind of easy, some days were really hard, and that helped me get through. So what do we got? Mental, not physical. Speak to someone, be really kind to ourselves, talk to our body. And I'm going to just close off by today on the final point, which is really, if you've got to make some changes in your life, if you've got to make some changes with how you conduct yourself on a daily basis, where you work, how you work, in your relationships, conversations that you may need to have, things that you may need to clean up. Maybe it is a time for you to change where you work, or a relationship, or whatever it is. Because for me, I am really confident for myself that TMS, tension myositis syndrome, all these repressed, pushed down feelings because you're dealing with stress in money, career, life. So, you know, I'm a coach, I'm a business consultant. I would say, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a look if there's any mess, and do your best to clean it up. You know, go and see what you need to do. And that can be very confronting at times to, you know, figure out that you've got to get out of debt. You might have to leave a relationship. You might have to fix a relationship. But, you know, do some work. Maybe the benefit of the TMS is for us to have a better look at life and to try and build a better life. Maybe that's the optimist in me to say, how can I learn from this experience? And for me, what I learned was to not push myself to breaking point, to not go and kill myself, but to be able to pace myself, to be able to be kinder to myself. So now I still work hard. I've got very high expectations, but at times I feel, you know what, I'm going too hard. I have a break, I have a breather, and letting go of the perfection. Doesn't have to be perfect. Do well, do the best we can, and have patience and give it time. I don't know the length of your pain journey. I may get mine again, who knows, but to be kind and patient with ourselves, and know though you can get better. The lady that I spoke to, she said, Trevor, you will get better. And that was really tough for me, especially when I was in agony. So I want to say to you, you will get better. It It's going to be okay. You're going to get your life back. Have faith and trust in that. And the power of the brain, I think, is so much greater than what we can even begin to tap into and imagine. So believe in that, because I believe the brain can do amazing things, and I think belief is a big part of it. So I hope you found that helpful. Be kind to yourself. To accept that it's mental, not physical, to speak to someone, to clean up the mess, to have patience, to take care of yourself, and believe that you will get better. My name's Trevor Russell. I hope you found this video helpful to help you get through, live with, and get past tension myositis syndrome. If I can, you can. I'm, just like you, and let's aim to have happier, better lives, and you can and will get better. I hope you found this helpful. If I can give you any advice, leave me a comment below. Happy to give you any help I can, but you can do it. Thanks for watching.